Hello, my friends. This is the MGM 1 month overview reading for June 2022. It's currently June 2nd, 2022, 6:42 p.m. The overall theme and behavior is going to be a cash-in opportunity at a high in the end or the completion of a rally, crossed with two declines that contain an incline in the middle of them. So it's like a sideways S formation. We fall from a price level, meet support, reverse off of that support, go back to the price level we fell from, use it as resistance, reverse again, and go back to the support that we had bounced off of. And that's a sideways S. Behavior around the high, month's high or highs is going to be profit taking from overbought territory. Moving into the high is going to be a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. And then behavior going into the low, we're going to have a notable rally that increases in momentum as we move forward into the low. Looks like we have a lower low the following month of July as well. On the first, we have a breakout due to a rally that increases in momentum as we move forward throughout the day. There's one local high. So a local high means that on a one-day chart of the first, you'll see one prominent high. A local low would be the opposite, one prominent low on a one-day chart. That's what local means, or what I mean with local. On the second, we have a cash-in opportunity at a high. Looks like that's probably related to this cash-in opportunity that we have for the theme. So cash-in opportunity at one local high, we fall from there to meet a support level. We break through that a support level, meet a second support level, and we bounce along sideways along that. Looks like we're at the bottom end of a range on the third. There's two local lows and one local high. From one of the local lows, there's a fast sudden move higher that marks the end of a decline. That's how it forms. The other one will form within close time proximity to multiple failed attempts to break through a resistance level, and then the local high is going to form from a prominent on a one-day chart. There'll be a prominent move to the upside to reach the local high. The trade opportunity, there's a swing trade opportunity. It looks like at an important price level that we'll be able to tell the level because it'll be near intersecting trend lines, and it'll be an important prominent price technical level. We have a swing trade opportunity, looks like, to close out of that on the 6th, one local high. It looks like, okay, so we rally out of the low on the 3rd into a high on the 6th. There's a failed attempt to break through resistance on the 6th, and then a decline through an important support to meet a trade opportunity in the midst of a low. And it looks like we have our first major trough on the 7th with a big move from being from being oversold. There's a big move higher out of this local low, or I should say out of this prominent crest on the 1 month chart. I'm so sorry, prominent trough on a one month chart. On the 8th, we have three crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend and a trade opportunity around a move higher along diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two. On the 9th, we have one local high and we have a sideways S decline. The local high forms from a notable rally that increases with momentum as we move forward. And then in the midst of that day, there's also a prominent sideways S. So like we'll fall from a price level to support, back to that price level, and then back to support. And it looks like a lot of ground is covered with a trade opportunity at the end of the day at a low, or at the beginning of the day on the 10th, a cash-in opportunity, I should say. Looks like at the end of the day, and we may revisit that low again on the 10th towards the mid-afternoon. There's one local low on the 10th, and there's a decline that offers an opportunity to open up a long position in the midst of a rally. So we likely have that decline continuing into either we have a month's trough or a month's low here on the 10th towards the mid-afternoon, or a rally that moves into a month's trough on the 13th. A decline that moves into a month's trough on the 13th. But I think probably we have a month's trough on the 10th and the 13th, an opportunity to open up long positions around that low on the 10th. And then we have a failed attempt to break through resistance, followed by a decline through an important support level. People are expecting us to break through resistance on the 13th, but we don't. And we break down through support. On the 14th, out of another important trough for the month, we move higher, pushing the upper end of a range, and we come to, it looks like we likely have a month's high or a month's important crest here on the 15th. When we move higher, and we have a month's high or a month's crest here on the 15th. Prominent one when we move higher through resistance and we stay there briefly before breaking down through that same price level. Looks like there's a decline that commences in the midst of sideways S on the 15th. On the 16th, in the midst of volatility that increases with volatility as we move forward throughout the day, there's a trade opportunity around the science level, an important technical level met with some intersecting trend lines. And then the one local high that we have on the 16th is going to be met when we have a big prominent move to the upside in the midst of all that volatility. On the 17th, we have a U-shaped dip, one local high, and another sideways S combined into that U-shaped dip. That local high will form when we have a rally that increases in momentum moving into the high. Looks like we have another month's correlator here on the 20th and the 21st. So from a prominent crest that we have, we fall from profit taking near overbought territory on RSI. We fall to a local low, and there's a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of that decline into the local low. It looks like we have a high at the end of the day on the 20th. Yeah, so it looks like we have that high at the end of the day on the 20th, and then we sell down into the 21st. We meet a resistance on the 20th, 21st, and excitement dissipates, and we fall hard from a month's high on the 21st. And from that resistance with increasing volatility on the way down. Looks like there's two local highs that stand out on the 21st and two local lows that stand out on the 21st, and also a trade opportunity. So we have one local high that forms with a prominent move to the upside. We have another local high where we attempt to establish support. And one of the local lows forms after multiple failed attempts to break through resistance, and another local low forms when we have a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of decline. The two trades, one trade is around a science level or an important technical level, met with probably intersecting trend lines or something like that. And then also a trade opportunity when we move higher along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. On the 22nd, we have a cash-in opportunity at one local high. It looks like there's a holding pattern on the 22nd, something to do with Congress or a legislative branch, a foreign legislative branch maybe. And it's a cash-in opportunity. On the 23rd, we have one trade opportunity in the midst of sideways price swings with a bullish trend along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a secondary resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. On the 24th, negative headwinds will make the street expect the stock to move lower, but instead, out of a period of volatility, there's a fast sudden move higher, forming the one local low and the end of that period of volatility on the 24th, with a prominent move to the upside to meet the one local high that we see on the 24th. A rally that commences late morning or right in the middle of the day, and it looks like a trade opportunity at the end of the day. Um, we have an important support level highlighted on the 27th. My feeling is we have a little bit of a gap down there, possibly two local lows, one local high. We have the completion of a rally. We also have a sideways S formation in here and a day trade. So the local high is going to form from a rally that increases in momentum as we move into the high. We have a prominent move higher out of one of the local lows, and another local low will form after multiple failed attempts to break through a resistance level. The trade, we have a day trade when we have a move higher along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting secondary resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. And we have another trade there in the midst of a notable decline due to multiple headwinds. On the 28th, yeah, there's a good cash-in opportunity there, a good trade opportunity to make some money on the 27th. On the 28th, looks like we come out of the same local low as the 27th. We move higher. There's a prominent move higher if you look at a multi-day chart on the 28th, and we reach the month's high or a month's prominent crest on the 29th, from which we fall sharply through an important support level. There's a trade opportunity in the midst of a rally higher along diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a secondary resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. There's a trade opportunity in there. And the local low is met when a period of volatility ends with a fast sudden move higher. Or excuse me, when a period of decline is met with a fast sudden move higher. Looks like we have a high, that important crest or month's high early on the 29th. And then we fall sharply. There's a deep decline on the 30th to an important trough for the month after multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. And there's a trade out opportunity in the midst of that steep decline. There's a move higher out of that steep decline that marks a trade opportunity. All right, guys, that's MGM for June 2022. I think I'm probably going to do the 1 year over for it, because since I did this 1 year overview of MGM so long ago, the meaning of one of the main cards has actually changed quite substantially. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at it closer. Where is it? Oh, I have it somewhere. But in any case, that's the June MGM 1 month. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. We can do more MGM. Just comment and let me know and hit that like button. Also, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. That's how you show your support for us. We do a lot of hard work here. There's a whole team working around the clock to bring you this stuff for free. So hit that subscribe button, and somebody that you know that can share, you could share with to help them, do that as well, my friends. Most importantly, though, when you make money from this reading, pay it forward. And I'll see you on the next one.